You know, every day I learn something new. The entire team is a dedicated group of professionals who bring their best every day. I truly thank you all for your support with my transition. You know, when I was hired as interim CEO, the announcement that came out described my responsibilities as focusing primarily on internal systems, processes, and operations supporting the strategic work of ANA, ANCC, and the Foundation, contributing to long-standing efforts and initiatives that advance the nursing profession and healthcare for all. So, what does that really mean? Because as an interim CEO, some folks might think that I should just be a seat warmer for the permanent CEO. But that's not why I took this job or why the board hired me. I committed this part of my life to ANA because I truly believe in nurses and the mission of ANA. I am one of 330 million people in this country who will in some way have a nurse touch their life. And we all should have a vested interest in ensuring the nursing community thrives. I'm indebted to nurses who have lifted me up since I was a young child while dealing with the healthcare journeys of those closest to me. You know, a woman who helped to raise me, I refer to her as second mom, Mom Polson. This is her picture, a graduation picture out of nursing school. Martha Polson was an RN at Ellis Hospital in Schenectady, New York. She took care of me 5 days a week after school, and her and my mother were best friends, and her daughter and I are best friends right till this day. And most recently, having been the sole caregiver to my mother, the fabulous Miss Rita, who had end-stage kidney disease. You can tell she had red hair and blonde hair. She was quite the woman. End-stage kidney disease, and she went on dialysis when she was 80. For 10 years, I sat with my mom in dialysis centers 3 days a week, every week, because she was my mama. And she did great. She passed away at 90. She bowled right up until she was 89 and a half. A serious bowler, scoring over 200. Yeah. In fact, they would put her bowling scores up on the dialysis center's bulletin board. She's a model patient. But the question is, why did she do so well? Because of the constant communication, unwavering passion of her nurse practitioner and dialysis nurses. We all, absolutely. We all talked and we all agreed she should thrive. And we all worked together to ensure that her dialysis sessions did not remove too much fluid or take her pressure too low. During that same time, I was also the healthcare proxy to 2 other elderly family members. And at one time, all 3, my mother, my aunt, and my uncle, were in the hospital at the same time in 3 separate hospitals. And if it weren't for nurses, who were my constant beacon during that time, I would not have been able to make the right healthcare decisions for these family members and keep my own personal sanity. I also saw the impact of nurse staffing and widespread nurse shortages. At one time, I actually had to hire a nurse to stay with my mom while she was in the hospital to ensure she had appropriate nursing care. From my vantage point as a caregiver for over 10 years, I saw many sides of nursing. During the past 2 months, I've been making my rounds talking to stakeholders, both internally and externally. I've had conversations with leaders from CSNAs, organizational affiliates, board members, other external stakeholders, and of course, meeting with the members of our internal ANA team. And if we haven't spoken yet, we will. You're on the list. My conversations have been candid and forthright, and I appreciate that no one to date has held back their thoughts, and I've definitely learned that this is a group that does not hold back its thoughts and speaks its mind, both on things ANA is doing right and ways that ANA can do things better, and I really appreciate it. I asked one state leader, after they were finished explaining to me the challenges they have with ANA, "Why are you still with us?" And this person said, "Angela, because I believe in the potential of what ANA can be." And I said, "You know what? So do I, and that's why I'm here." So I've been using this time of immersion to see how ANA moves through the world, how the outside world perceives us, and how do we perceive ourselves? How do we interact with our stakeholders? How do we make our decisions? What is our current impact? What is our potential? And are we benchmarking best practices? I'm observing the current way we work and if we're aligned with our vision and mission and the needs of our stakeholders. During the course of this meeting, you'll hear several updates, including the financials. As I look at the financials, the overall enterprise is successful, but I am inspired to look for ways ANA can go and grow. ANA CEO Dr. Hatmaker will share some updates on membership growth tomorrow, and you'll see that also in the financial report. Yet we should never rest on our laurels and always strive to increase our membership with all demographics. There are over 5 million registered nurses in this country, and approximately only 4% of them are ANA members. Why is that? And what will we do to capture greater market share? As I've said to the team at ANA, we need to make decisions based on context. I like to think of it as 10, 10, 10. How will our decisions affect us 10 minutes from now, 10 months from now, and 10 years from now? In fact, for me, I'm very curious about what ANA looks like 15 years from now, and what does the profession of nursing look like 15 years from now? You've all seen and heard the data, which I find so sobering. 39% of nurses said they intend to leave their current position in the next 6 months, according to the ANA Foundation's 4th Mental Health and Wellness Survey. 1 in 5 nurses are considering taking travel jobs. 1 in 4 nurses experiences workplace violence, more than correctional officers and police officers. 56% of nurses are experiencing burnout, including emotional exhaustion. And numerous studies show that nurses are at higher risk of suicide compared to the general public, and ensuring nurse mental health and well-being has to be a priority. In addition, other professional associations are coming after nurse practitioners with public campaigns to further their agenda and steer patients away from advanced practice registered nurses. This is misinformation and it's harmful to patients. We all need to take a look at AI, considering our position for nursing, but also for the business of our organization. We need to better understand that when we talk about the profession of nursing, we are talking about workforce development and the next generation of nurses. And understand what adjacent lanes we need to be in to have productive conversations in regard to the workforce development pipeline. For example, we need to understand what companies are attracting nurses away from nursing. We need to understand the agendas of workforce development boards and how the nursing profession is treated in those considerations. There are now full court presses on social media from individuals and companies who are not accredited in this space, luring nurses to careers that are alternative to direct care practice. Some may say that that's not a real thing, but it is, and there are companies spending a lot of money exploiting nurse burnout, and we are losing nurses in spaces where we need them most, in patient care. Over the next 15 years, how will we mitigate issues affecting the profession? Unmanageable workloads, unsafe working conditions, salary and benefits, job-related mental health stress, and burnout. We also have to look at opportunities to be innovative and think of what the future looks like. Yes, 15 years from now, but also 50 years from now, and Ori in innovation would say 100 years from now. We need to capture the next innovative trend. The ANA of the future requires us to innovate now to address the exponential changes unfolding across the healthcare and our society. Our ability to scale innovation for nurses, nursing, and our organization is a strategic priority for us as we move towards the future. And look, when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, access, creating an anti-race profession, our words and actions matter. We need not to just to talk the talk, but we need to walk the walk every single day. We must continue to seek authentic partnerships with organizations while on this journey. It's important that we are not only diverse and inclusive, but that we build equitable opportunities for those who have been historically marginalized, creating access to opportunities to thrive and advance. There are questions we need to ask ourselves. We need to hold up the mirror and ask ourselves, can we meet the moment when it arrives? One of my mantras to the team is we need to stop playing checkers and start playing chess. We need to take care of the business in 2024, and quite frankly, we need to plan and be ready for 2040 and beyond. Where will we, thank you. Where will we go, and how do we grow? But most importantly, we need to do it together. So later this year, we'll begin an enterprise initiative to imagine A&A into the future. How do we see ourselves 15 years from now? In what ways do we grow? In what ways are we providing best-in-class service to our CSNAs, the individual members, and organizational affiliates? In what ways are we allowing our employees and our stakeholders, our partners, opportunities to bring forth the best ideas and execute them so that we can hit our stride? Of course, we want to grow membership. Of course, we want to grow revenue so we can deliver even more nursing programs. Of course, we need to share research policies and information in more creative ways to drive impact. Of course, we want to have best-in-class customer service to those we serve. But most importantly, we want A&A to continue to be the premier organization for the nursing profession, integrating excellence into all that we do. This year, as we begin an enterprise-wide initiative, we're going to call it Integrating Excellence, Imagining A&A into 2040. We will need to take a good look at the environment we are in today and what we anticipate the landscape will look like in 2040. We need to look at how we continue to serve the nursing profession with best-in-class practices, innovation, engagement, anticipating emerging markets, research, advocacy, nursing programs, and financial vitality, just to name a few. We need to reach for the stars and see where we grow together. In fact, some of that work is going on right now. We are reimagining our brand together with you. This important work will address existing brand confusion, fix known issues around our brand experience, and create clear value propositions. This is important work and happens just at the right time as we build for the future and the future of nursing. You know, if you'd like to see what that's going to look like, I would encourage you to attend the ANCC Magnet Pathway to Excellence Conference in October, and that will be revealed. We need to continue to build an organization that is resilient and future-proof. Imagining A&A in 2040 will be an introspective look at integrating excellence and meeting the moments that are in our future, how we are now and what we will need to be. It will involve our employees, our key stakeholders working together to imagine that future. In my conversations, I've heard ideas and thoughts about current state and future state from those both internally and externally. It's time to capture all that we experience, learn, see, research, and see what cream rises to the top. The ideas of excellence that will make A&A best positioned to serve the nursing profession in 2040. But most importantly, and I'm going to say it again, we need to do it together. You know, I'm not a nurse, but as TK Curtis Pugh, who's from the ED in South Carolina, said, and I hope TK doesn't mind me telling people this, but she said, Angela, you're not a nurse ally, you are a nurse accomplice. I am not running alongside the car. I am here, and I'm honored to be in the car riding along with you, and I am here for it. So as an interim CEO, along with the great team at A&A and working with you all, I look forward to the great work and the dreams we can build together. Thank you.